Hello to the beautiful and amazing Kathy Duncan. How's it going?
Hi Dahlia, good, thank you, Dane. I've just poured a little one, just cooking dinner. Got chocolate cake in the oven and just put some chicken and veggies in. So we've got 15 minutes.
Oh, I was just going to say, hold on a second. Is this just all surrounding everything else that you do in life? So just backing on cooking, wine, and business, all in a day's work. Hey,
Yeah. Well, we've had 5 adults home through lockdown, or apart from my husband that's had to go to work. But there's a lot more stuff in the kitchen that needs to happen. But I've actually really enjoyed it. So
yeah, and cooking is sort of like your lovely little peaceful pastime when you have time. Hey.
yeah, I love it. Yeah, totally.
So I just want to introduce you guys to Kathy. She is amazing, an awesome mentor, friend, and we're in the same business, but I just wanted to bring Kathy to you tonight because not only is she the senior director of her business in Nutrimedics Australia and New Zealand, but she is at the top of the range. So she's the queen of Nutrimedics in her S-T-shirt and in Australia and New Zealand, and her business this last year just gone made a whopping $1.52 million turnover. So that is a no small feat.
Yeah.
Rather magnificent for, by any intents and purposes, anybody's business. That's quite a good number, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think the exciting thing is 2 years ago, I made a goal that I wanted to double my business, and then we kind of put a plan into place and we made it happen. So it's kind of like, and through doing that, I've always believed that you can make things happen, but now I know, wow, you can make a goal, be focused, visualize, feel it like you've already done it, and bang. Yeah.
So that's all we need to talk about tonight. Thanks and goodbye. Because actually, we'll unpack this a little bit now, but literally what you're talking about is manifesting your goals and your visions and your dreams and actually making them tangible and real. And so talk about, like, I know that, you do vision boards and you do things like that, but talk me through the process, because you have probably something that not everybody has, and that's like this really inherent ability to just bounce back from a bad situation, or you might get hit down and then you'll just bounce back up even bigger and better. And I want to know how that happens. But first, just a little example for everybody else. At the end of last year, Kathy had quite a big goal that she needed to get to. We got down to the last few weeks of the year and she needed to make, was it $70,000 in about 3 days?
Yeah.
In less than a week. So
3 days.
3 days. Yes, 3 days to make $70,000. Okay. So all of the rest of us, we believe Kathy now, because when she puts her mind to something, she achieves it. So we don't faff around and think, oh no, it's never going to happen, we can't support this cause. We just know that when Kathy makes up her mind about a thing, that she's going to make it happen no matter what. So talk me through the process of how you have that mindset, or what do you...
Well, I tell you what, I have my mother to thank for that. And it is inherent. It is something I learned through my childhood, because I'm one of 7 children, and there wasn't a lot of money when we were growing up, but I learned to appreciate all the smaller things in life. And my mother always said to me, and she still says to me this day, well, 2 things actually. Always make the best with what you've got, regardless of what's on your plate, make the best of it. And secondly, she always said, God will never give you more than he knows you can handle. And like, sometimes in my life, I've said to myself, what the hell have I done to deserve this, but I've always just believed, because I believed my mum, and she told me that I'd always come through and everything's going to be okay, and I've just always believed that. So no matter what life dishes up, and we all have a lot of stuff we deal with, once you kind of process it and go through the pain and the what ifs and whys and all the rest of it, you got to think, okay, well, how are we going to get on with it? How do we make the best of the situation? And
so you're saying to me, you're not some supernatural being, even though you look very luminescent in your purple. You're not some supernatural being that doesn't ever experience a huge. But so
No.
you do go down those rabbit holes, and you do go low. But then, so what is it? Where is it where you hit the ground and then you go, right, that's it? Where do you stop that grieving down process?
Well, I think it's really important. I was speaking to a friend yesterday, and I think the important thing is to acknowledge where you are, regardless of where you are. And probably lockdown is a good example for a lot of people, because a lot of people are okay and they've got family around and stuff, but there's a lot of people that aren't doing so well, either on their own or single parents with young children. They're just about putting their hair out. And I think the first thing is to actually acknowledge where you're at, acknowledge how you're feeling, give yourself permission to say, it's okay for me to feel like this, and then be kind to yourself, and then just find a little way to move forward. Find something that you want, it's kind of visualizing how you want the outcome to be, but you've got to give yourself that glimmer of hope to work towards something, and baby steps, because you can't just jump from one situation into something where you want to be. It's baby steps, and it's just acknowledging yourself and acknowledging, well, I have got my plate full, but this is where I want to go. So every day when I wake up, I'm going to or when I go to bed every night, visualize where I want to be, and just kind of work in your mind towards that.
So can I expand on that just slightly? And I love these kinds of interviews, because I love trying to pick someone's brain, because it helps me and helping me and help other people. So when you're down in that low point and you're like, right, now I'm going to do this little thing just to make myself feel a bit better and start chipping towards that goal. So when you're down in that low point, what would you say? Would you get yourself a piece of paper and say, rewrite it out for yourself? This is what I want. This is where I want to go, and I'm going to start with this small thing. Or how would that?
I'm a big believer in writing down your thoughts and feelings, keeping a journal, and acknowledging where you are, saying it's okay. And I've just forgotten my track of thought then. Oh God,
it's usually me doing that, so that makes me feel better. So when you hit the sort of bottom of the pit, you take one little point that is going to be, when you write up a vision of where you're going, and then break it into small things, or how does that work for you?
You've got to kind of have a big picture, and regardless of what you're going through, have that big picture of ideally what you want your life to be like, and even go as far as cutting pictures out, putting them on your fridge, whether it be a little goal of having X amount of dollars per week, or whether it's, I need carpet in my house, new carpet. So that, to me, I'm going to start looking at carpet and putting things in my, hasn't been important while the kids have been growing up. It's been a great party house, but it's important to me now. So now I'm going to start to visualize my house with this beautiful carpet. And so it's just kind of, and I think the important thing is, don't get caught up too much in how stuff is going to happen.
Wow.
Just believe in your gut, your mind, and your heart that it will happen. If you can see it, believe it, think it, feel it, it can happen.
Well, I know that you're not saying spiritual, but it is kind of a spiritual way of thinking, to believe it and to really visualize it till you see it happening. But you are also very organized in terms of your thinking. So I know that you would probably visualize that thing. Maybe you'd sort yourself a little dream board for that particular goal. I don't know. I can imagine doing that. And then would you sort of break that goal up into bite-sized pieces that are achievable to build up to that goal? Is that how?
Yeah, definitely. And when things don't go to plan, as they often don't, well, that's okay too. But at least you've had a goal of where you want to get to. And if you don't actually try, then you're never going to know. You're never going to know how far you can get without trying,
Absolutely amazing. Can we just go back to that little example that I gave at the beginning about you needing to get $70,000 done in 3 days? So I'm not going to give names here, cough, cough, husband. But, there was that whole, oh, look, you know what, Pat, don't you worry about it. We were so close, but no cigar. And you were like, not going to have any of that. Not going to have that. And you were not going to give up until you had reached that last second of time. And then, and then that's it. Then you were going to pull the plug. But Talk me just through those feelings when you had other people, and it was all very nice. It wasn't to make you feel bad. It was just to make you feel, like it's okay. It's okay if you don't. So talk me through, how do you get through those feelings to push through?
Well, that was interesting because those last 3 days of 2019, the thing was we had this massive target, which we were on track all the way through the year. And I actually somehow managed to miscalculate somehow through the year. And we ended up, and it was just like, oh my God, we actually got to do a little bit more. And I had visualized the whole year of where we wanted to be. And can I say, I was working towards a Mediterranean cruise, right? A European cruise, which was an amazing thing. And as it turns out, we can't go, but that's okay. But the thing was, I had visualized being on that ship. I visualized calling at those ports. We were on that boat no matter what. So the thing to me was, when it was $70,000 with 3 days ago, I honestly thought about two options: A, giving up and thinking, well, it's not going to happen. Or B, had to put the big girl's pants on and think, you know what? I'm so determined to make this happen. We're going to find a way to make it happen. And
sorry, excuse me, I've got an interview ready.
Hi, darling.
Yeah.
Cute.
Excuse
me. You're a good girl, sweetie. So
about videos, we freestyle because that always
we freestyle. That's just life. But the thing was, I wasn't prepared to give up until I knew I had brought everything to the table. I did every single possible thing I thought of, and I still didn't know how the hell we were going to do it, but I just knew we had to put the processes in place to work towards achieving it. And the most crazy thing is, we actually did $4,000 over the target. It was just, I'll never forget that feeling, like at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve, and I was dancing around the kitchen, and it was my first glass of champagne at midnight because I was too busy working, and we didn't finish till like 2:30 that morning, processing all the orders that came through to people. And that's, I knew it, I believed it before, but now I just think, you know what, you want to make something happen. If all the processes, if everything is right, if you're doing things for the right reasons, you're being honest, you care about other people, and when you've ticked all those boxes, if something is meant to be, I don't know, you can make it happen. You can make it happen.
Amazing. So let's talk a little bit about how you get people's buy-in, because you are actually really, really good at that. And I don't think you even try to manifest somebody's buy-in. And what I mean by that is that you, by the very nature of growing up having had very positive sort of parenting and always having believed in yourself, but not everybody believes in themselves the way that you do. So you do have a team around you and various personalities. How do you, with your inherent belief in yourself, get everybody else to believe in themselves as well?
That's the key, because a lot of people don't believe in themselves. But if you believe in them, and if you say to them, I believe we can make this happen, I believe you can do this and we can do this. So it's a bit of a teamwork. It's not putting pressure on any single person, but if you have the belief and the vision, it has to be strong enough to carry those people as well. And that was an example where I'd never felt such strength and determination to get over that line. I don't know where it came from, but I just, you talk about the powers that be, but I just knew we were meant to do this, so yeah.
Well, and people certainly do borrow that belief, so that's a really nice trait to have and be able to pass on to people. I don't know, I just think that this can apply to all areas, not just business. So I see you as a person who carries this same kind of energy and belief through all of your life, not just your business. So do you feel like that's just, you know, a part of your personality, and you apply that same sort of belief and the same belief of manifestation into all areas of your life? So that's health and wellness, that's, you know, friendships maybe, and business and those sorts of things. Do you feel like you have the same kind of way of
Yeah, totally. And another thing, I remember growing up with my mum, and like she's 86 now and she's still amazing, and I'll always look up to my mum. But you know, even walking along the street, she would always greet everyone with a smile and enthusiasm, like, good morning, how are you? You know, like she would always look at a way to brighten someone's day. And I've always learned that, you know, regardless of who you're talking with or you're with, do your best to make them feel good. You know, like there's enough stuff happening in this world that brings people down, but if you can make someone else's day by just with a smile or a nice gesture, or, you know, I just think it's just looking after people, respecting people, and you know, like, and all through the goals of gosh, I've been in direct selling for 35 years or something now. And all the way through, you know, I've involved the family all the way through. Like, Mummy's going out to work tonight because this is what we're working on for our family trip or whatever. So you always include the people around you with your goal and make sure it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah. I've got to say that I remember not the first time I met you, but the first time we sort of really had a one-on-one discussion, and you'd come to me and, you know, you pulled in your nice BMW and looking very lovely, and I was probably not in the best place that I could have been in my life at that point, but I do remember that that one-on-one contact and thinking what a nice person you were, and there was definitely a real humility about you, and that's something that made me, you know, a couple of years later then pursue what it was that you had, because I remembered that kindness and that just that sort of non-forceful, like just lovely humility. And so I think that you're right, that if you've got just a real heart for people and you just treat them like that lovely human beings, or you just think the best in everybody, that's another part of your superpower in a way, isn't it? Because you just treat everybody as though they're equal to you, like nobody is beneath you and anybody can be where you are. They just need a bit
absolutely. And anytime I might mention something about, you know, oh gosh, did you see or did you hear about what she said or something, my husband Kerry will always say, hey, you know what, it's okay because everybody's different, so you can't say that because, you know, everyone's different, everyone has a different opinion. So, you know, it's just, we all learn from each other along the way, don't we? You know, and I just think this whole lockdown thing in the last month, just bringing it back to that, it's just united people. It's made people think about them, you know, themselves, their community, their families, and it's just such a good thing. We're all going to come out of this so much stronger. We really are.
Yeah, and I love your belief in that too, because there's lots of people saying, oh no, woe is me, and what's the economy going to do, and all that sort of thing, and you're still saying we're going to come out of this better. So that's who you are as a person. You just have awesome belief in every area of your life, and I think that what makes you so successful and such a great leader. Thank you so much for coming along and chatting with us tonight. I appreciate you so much.
Pleasure.
One of the very best people I know, and I'd just like to host you for that too.
Right back at you. I learn from you every day, Talia. Every day I listen to you and I think, oh my God, this girl's so good. What I admire about you is you're confident to have your opinion, and that's great. That's strength, because I still a little bit old school, and I remember my dad always saying, oh, you can't say that, what will the neighbours think, you know? So I'm still kind of getting better at being more confident with voicing my opinion about stuff. So so thank you. I am learning from you. So not just that, but lots of things.
And like you said, we all learn off each other, because it's Natalie Tolhoff, she's a business trainer here on the coast, and I have just learnt from her that you actually meant to repel people, because when you repel people by being completely authentically yourself, you end up with the people who are supposed to be around you.
Exactly.
And that's how it ends up being.
I learned that actually about 35 years ago, and back then we called it de-junking your life, of people that don't empower you, people who don't love you and appreciate you. You don't need those negative people in your life. Love them and let them go. And I think I've become quite good at that. actually. Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Okay, again, thanks so much for your time. Thanks for
Pleasure.
chatting. Hopefully we get you on again soon.
Okay, thanks, Tony. Love you.
Yeah.